Messerly with Cultural Outreach here interviewing Ace Watanasuparp, and hopefully I got that right. And
Yeah.
we are talking about reaching Asian American consumers, and Ace is heavily involved with an organization called ARIA, the Asian Real Estate Association of America. And so, Ace, I just want to hear a little bit from you about your involvement, what ARIA is, and just provide a little bit of your insight. So, thank you so
Yeah,
much for joining.
not a problem, Kristen. So thank you. I learned very quickly that a lot of the things that they were pushing really was they were forefront leaders in terms of getting the Asian community a voice out there in the real estate world, and not even in the real estate world, but just really connecting the dots between everyone that is and all things to real estate, right? So not just a real estate agent, but an attorney, title company, a developer, so forth and so forth. And I think the organization represents so many people from so many different backgrounds. And I think it's not only about Asian Americans, but it's about anyone that does business with Asian Americans, right? So we have other ethnicities that are a part of the organization that's not just Asian American. So I think that's what's really good about the organization. It brings so many different people together, and you definitely need a voice, especially in a society where we make up probably, I would say, 8% to 12% of the real estate market, and I think there's still a lot more younger professionals that want to get into the real estate market that can learn and learn from these mentors within the organization. So
Yeah, absolutely. I think ARIA is a fantastic organization. I'm recently more involved with it myself. So can you share a little bit about, you mentioned Asian Americans being provided a voice. Can you explain a little bit what you mean by that and what kind of voice you think needs to be heard by others in this industry?
real estate has changed so much that it's more of a global economy. And what I mean about that is that you're not just talking about the United States as the hub, right? You have people from China, you have people from Brazil, you have people from London looking at properties in the United States and vice versa. And people in the United States are constantly traveling, trying to look for safe havens for their money too. But if you look at history, the United States has always been a safe haven, especially with geopolitical issues going on around the world. And also the economy, I think in America, no matter what happens, it's stable. So you're attracting all these foreign buyers into our country as well. So I think having a voice in a place where there's heavy demand in real estate is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And understanding the cultural nuances that exist in that transaction, I think, are very important. Can you talk about some of the cultural nuances that you think that people should be aware of, or that exist many times in international or with immigrant Asian American homebuyer transactions?
That's a very good question, Kristen. And I think a lot of people are accustomed now to different I guess different customaries. That, like when you hand out a business card, I think it's universal now. Everybody knows that when you're dealing with an Asian American, you hand out the business cards with two hands, right? So I think universally communication is key, no matter what country you're from. And I think just being a good listener. I think a lot of foreign buyers, a lot of times they're misunderstood because so many people are always trying to sell, and they're not really listening to really what their wants or needs are. I believe varieties on why people invest here in the States, and as long as people listen and understand what their needs are, I think universally you'll be able to achieve quite success with the Asian American community.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. Well, those are really helpful insights. I just want to close by asking you, what do you think that lenders or agents, anyone in this related to the housing industry, can benefit from in being involved with an organization like ARIA?
Oh, I can tell you from my own experience, just meeting some amazing people within the organization, some chapter leaders in before I started here, I really didn't have any contacts out in San Diego or LA or Boston, DC, Phoenix for that matter. And meeting all of these great professionals that have an amazing insight into that local marketplace is so huge, because when you're doing business, especially in New York, where everybody is traveling, we call them snowbirds, right? So when it's snowing here, they usually like to get away. So it's great to have a fellow friend and even a contact, out in the West Coast or down south and things of that nature. So I think, the ability to just network, learn, in terms of, I have so many mentors in ARIA that, I look up to. They have so much more experience when it comes to, different fields of the business that I leverage off of. And I think it's growing. And I think when an organization is growing, it just shows that they're doing the right things, right? They're taking the right steps to really add value for their members. And I think that's what I want to try to do as the chair for Edge this year, which is more geared towards the younger professionals. I want them to see that there is mentorship available for them. And I want them to sort of aspire to become like one of these top agents or top real estate moguls. And then the home buyer sector. With all these millennials, there's 87 million millennials now in the country, and they need a voice, they need a home, and we want to create programs that will relate to this demographic of buyers. And I think that's what's exciting, because there's so much technology. I mean, look at us, we're doing an interview on Skype, right? So it's amazing how far we've come, and I just want to be able to connect the dots for people and really develop, at the end of the day, the network stands for so many different things, but I think it speaks volumes when it comes down to just relationship and building a network that you can trust, there's credibility, and knowing that there's an organization behind you, that you're not doing it alone, is important as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. I think, with ARIA, we have the individual chapters that are across the country now, and but also the education that comes out, I think, is very helpful through the reports that are provided and obviously through the conferences. So anyway, to our viewers, definitely get involved. Ace, thank you so much for your insights. These were really helpful, and I know many people will enjoy them. So anyway, thank you for participating.
Not a problem. Thank you, Kristen.